Welcome, everybody, to part 2 of Pokemon I Choose You, an adaptation by Tracy West. Reading here on the Rex Reads YouTube channel and Professor's Lab over on Twitch. Make sure you guys hit subscribe and go ahead and go follow the YouTube and the Twitch. Anyways, we're going to get started. When we last left our heroes, they were dealing with the evil Team Rocket. They had broken into the Pokemon Center. And now we're going to be reading Chapter 7, Pika Power. Ash wheeled Pikachu into the waiting room and headed for the door. Crash! He smashed into Misty's busted-up bike. With the impact, Pikachu opened its eyes and sat up. "Pika, Pika," it said in a daze. Coughing and Ekans eyed Pikachu hungrily. Ash knew Pikachu was still too weak to take on these two creeps. Team Rocket ran in. Misty was behind them. "I couldn't stop them," she cried. Jessie laughed. "Ha ha ha, it's all ogre now." A low rumbling sound filled the room. Pikachu were pouring into the room from every doorway. Ash had never seen so many. The Pikachu jumped on Ash's Pikachu's stretcher. "Pika, Pika, choo, choo, Pika, Pika, choo, choo," they cried. Ash watched in amazement as all the Pikachu created an electric charge. The air around them glowed with yellow light. The Pikachu chanting got louder and louder. They hurled the charge right at Team Rocket. Meowth leaped out of the way as the charge electrified Jessie, James, Coughing, and Ekans. They all fell to the floor in a heap. "Pikachu!" cheered the group of Pikachu. Ash rushed to Pikachu's side. Pikachu was standing up. Ash turned at the sound of Meowth's voice. "Do I have to do everything?" Meowth shouted. "That mouse is cat food. You're mine, Pikachu." Meowth lunged at them. "Pika! Pika! Pika!" Pikachu said. Ash knew Pikachu was trying to tell him something. "Pika, Pika?" Ash asked, not speaking Pikachu. "Pika," Pikachu said. "Pika Power?" Ash asked. He finally understood. "You want more power." Ash jumped on Misty's bike and began to pedal. The bike was too busted up to move, but the bike's headlight was still working. It shone brighter and brighter the more Ash pedaled. "What's this?" Meowth asked. "Let's just say that Pikachu and I are going to generate a little excitement," Ash replied. Pikachu jumped onto the shining light. Ash could see the electric charge coursing through Pikachu's body. "Oh no," Jessie said. "You can say that again," said James. Ash closed his eyes and braced himself. His hair was standing on end from all the electricity Pikachu was creating. "Pika! Choo!" Pikachu cried as it released a huge electric charge. A loud explosion rocked the Pokemon Center. Orange flames shot into the sky. Ash was blinded by the bright light. Slowly, he opened his eyes and looked around. The Pokemon Center was in ruins. But Pikachu was beside Ash, smiling. Pikachu was all right. Nurse Joy stepped over the rubble. "It's a good thing I got all those Pokemon transported safely to Pewter City," she said. Then Ash saw Misty. She was covered in dust, but she was all right too. I'm not sure what you did, she said, but it looks like you got rid of Team Rocket. Ash looked around. There was no sign of Jesse, James, or Meowth anywhere. I'll bet they'll think twice before messing with us again, Ash said. But deep down, he wasn't so sure. Quick question for the viewers. Do you guys think that's the last we're going to see of Team Rocket? Are they really going to think twice? Guess we'll have to wait and find out. High over Viridian City, Team Rocket made its escape in their hot air balloon. Their once sparkling uniforms were charred and torn. Jesse scowled at Meowth. A cat losing to a Meowth? A mouse? I can't believe it. That Pikachu is no ordinary Pikachu, Meowth protested. James looked thoughtful. It's certainly very rare, and our mission is to capture all rare Pokémon for our boss. It would be a perfect prize. Let's catch it, Jesse said. Meowth, you're ours, Pikachu. Meowth purred as the balloon floated away. Oh, it sounds like that might not be the last we see of Team Rocket. Chapter 8, Vermilion City. We made it. It's Vermilion City. Ash couldn't believe how far he had come since he had left Pallet Town to begin his Pokemon training. At first, he had a Pikachu that didn't like him and no friends to count on. He and Pikachu had been through a lot together, and now they were friends. After Ash had tried so hard to protect Pikachu in Viridian City, Pikachu forgave Ash for being so demanding at first, and defeating Team Rocket together had felt really good. Now Ash could understand Pikachu when it spoke, although Pikachu still wouldn't get inside a Pokeball. Misty had decided to come along with Ash and complete her Pokemon training too. And on the way to Vermilion City, they had made a new friend, Brock. Brock was older than Ash and Misty, a gym leader who had put his journey on hold to take care of his little brothers and sisters. But now Brock was back on the road. Ash felt like he could do anything with his team of friends behind him. We made it. It's good to be in a new city, Brock said as the friends gazed at the city sprawled out before them. I'm gonna hit the Vermilion City gym right now, Ash said. Brock grabbed Ash by the collar. Oh, no, you're not. But I have to, Ash said. Every trainer has to battle its Pokemon against the gym leader's Pokemon in each new city. If I win a battle, I'll earn a badge. And I don't have many yet. Without badges, I'll never be able to control higher level Pokemon. No kidding, Misty said. But look at Pikachu. Pikachu was lying weakly on the ground. Its stomach was growling. We haven't eaten anything decent for days now, said Brock. Ash knew Brock was right. All right. Let's head for the Pokemon Center first, he said, reluctantly. I do want to quickly say, we had the audio of BDSP in the background, but is Kanto a socialist country? Like, they got all this free healthcare even for animals. Is Pokemon like a perfect utopia because they've really captured the essence of proper socialism? Anyways, moving on. The dome-shaped Pokemon Center looked a lot like the one in Viridian City. Pikachu was quickly swept away to the recovery room. Ash, Misty, and Brock looked around. The hospital ward was filled with injured Pokemon and concerned trainers. A nurse, whose name was also Joy, greeted them. They all lost to Lieutenant Surge, the Vermilion City gym leader, she explained. Whoa, he must be a great trainer, Ash said. A bell rang softly in the ward. Doo, 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 doo. That sound means your Pokemon is recovered, Nurse Joy said, leading them back into the lobby. Pikachu was sitting on a table, happily eating apples. I'm glad you're feeling so much better, Pikachu, Ash said. We're going to win big at that gym today. You didn't realize Brock and Misty were so young. Google says 15 for Brock and 10 or 12 for Misty. It also, earlier in this book, actually said that Jesse and James were teenagers. Yeah, there it is. Teenage boy and girl. P, said Pikachu. Oh, wait. 1 second. We're going to go win big at the gym today. B, said Pikachu. It looked ready to fight. The front door slid open again. Another trainer burst in, wheeling a Pidgey on a stretcher. The Pidgey looked badly hurt. I guess they must have come from the gym, Misty said. Pikachu looked alarmed. Pikachu, Pikachu. The Pokemon waved its arms excitedly. Pikachu! What? Ash asked. Usually he could understand what Pikachu was trying to say. You mean you don't want to end up like that Pidgey in there? Pika. Pikachu nodded. I guess you're right, Ash said. Pikachu breathed a sigh of relief. But you won't end up that way, Ash continued, because you'll win. Choo-choo. Pikachu shook its head stubbornly. Ah, don't be a scaredy cat, Ash said. He turned to Misty and Brock. Next stop, Vermilion Gym. Chapter 9. Pikachu versus Raichu. So, this is the Vermilion City Gym, Ash said. The huge building towered above them. Lightning bolts decorated the doors. It's not too late to back out, Misty said. Why should I back out when I'm just going to win? Ash asked. Just you stick around and watch me. I'll stick around to watch your face when you get I'll stick around to watch your face when you get creamed, Misty teased. You haven't had a lot of battle experience. And this Surge guy sounds like he's really tough. Brock was impatient. Are we ever going to go inside? At Brock's words, the large gym doors swung open. A tall, blonde-haired man stood inside. Huge muscles bulged beneath his uniform. Which one of you is the challenger? Surge grunted. Ash stepped forward. I am. Ash Ketchum. Surge patted Ash's head. Ow, cute. Don't think I'll go easy on you, baby. Hey, I'm no baby, Ash protested. I call everybody who loses to me baby, Surge said. Pikachu clung to Ash's leg nervously. Surge laughed. A Pikachu. So the baby has a baby Pokemon. Quit it, Ash said. Why are you making fun of my Pokemon? The gym leader pulled a Pokeball from his pocket. I'll show you why. Go, Pokeball! Surge threw the ball. There was a flash of light and a Pokemon appeared. Ash gasped. The Pokemon looked kind of like Pikachu, only bigger, and it was a yellow-orange color. Its long, thin tail ended in a lightning bolt. It's Raichu! Ash exclaimed. The Pokédex spoke. Raichu is the evolved form of Pikachu. A Pikachu can become a Raichu with the use of a Thunderstone. Raichu can shock with more than 100,000 volts. Pikachu growled at the Raichu. You should have made your Pokemon evolve as soon as you got it, Surge said. Like I did. Electric Pokemon are only useful once they learned all the electric attacks. Are you sure you don't want to quit? Ash looked at Pikachu. Angry sparks shot from its face. He knew it wanted to battle. Ash faced Surge. Let's do it. Still laughing, Surge led Ash and his team to the gym floor. Surge and Raichu stood on one side of the gym, and Ash and Pikachu stood on the other. In this battle, only one Pokemon may be used, blared the gym announcer. Let the battle begin. A bell rang. Raichu and Pikachu ran into the center of the gym and faced each other. Pikachu, Thundershock! Ash commanded. Pikachu hurled a large blast of electricity at Raichu. Pikachu! The blast hit Raichu. To Ash's amazement, the Pokemon absorbed the shock. It wasn't phased at all. Raichu, show him a real Thundershock, Surge ordered. A yellow glowing light surrounded Raichu. The Pokemon fired an electric blast directly at Pikachu. Raichu! The huge blast hit Pikachu full force. Pikachu went flying across the gym. Pikachu slowly rose to its feet. It was weak, but it wasn't going to give in. Raichu Mega Punch! Surge cried. Before Pikachu could react, Raichu aimed a powerful punch at Pikachu's body. Yo, Surge out here bragging about how oh, my Raichu learned all the cool electric moves when I used the Thunderstone, and then he's using the Move Tutor Mega Punch move? What's going on here? This is some nonsense. Anyways. Pikachu crashed to the floor. This time, Pikachu didn't get up. The battle is over, Surge cried. Ash rushed Pikachu to the Pokemon Center. Soon, Pikachu lay in a hospital bed, its head and body covered in bandages. Pikachu's spirit got hurt pretty badly, Brock said. It was overpowered by Raichu. Brock's right, Misty said. We'll win next time, Ash said. There is one way you might win. Nurse Joy stepped into the room. She held a small red box. You could use this, she said. She handed the box to Ash. Ash opened the lid. Inside was a shining crystal. Wow, it's a Thunderstone, Brock said. You could use it to evolve Pikachu into Raichu. Then Pikachu might become strong enough to win, Ash realized. If you make Pikachu evolve, Joy warned, you can't change it back. Ash didn't know what to do. If Pikachu becomes a Raichu, I could win that bad, she said. But if I made it evolve just so that it could fight, I would be just like Surge. He doesn't care about his Pokemon. He only cares about winning. Ash turned to Pikachu. What do you want to do, Pikachu? This is your choice, not mine. Pikachu stood up. It looked hard at Ash. Then it knocked the Thunderstone out of Ash's hand with its tail. Pika, Pika, Pikachu said. Ash understood. Pikachu, together you and I will beat Lieutenant Surge and his Raichu. You're both crazy, Misty said. Brock looked thoughtful. Hey, Ash. Surge said that he made his Raichu evolve as soon as he got it, didn't he? Ash nodded. Then there may be a way to win, Brock said. Pika, Pika, Pika. Outside the Pokemon Center, Team Rocket peered at the scene through a window. Meowth, what is Pikachu saying? Justy asked. Meowth was sniffing. Pikachu is so brave. It says it won't change. It's gonna fight in the name of all Pikachu. James brushed a tear from his eye. Oh, dearie, that's magnificent. If Pikachu wins this battle, Jessie said, we will simply have to capture it. Chapter 10. Electric Shock Showdown. The bright gym lights glared in Ash's face. Across the gym, Surge and Raichu faced them. You didn't even make your Pikachu evolve. You haven't learned anything yet, Surge jeered. Ash stood firm. Surge wasn't going to beat him. This time, it was different. They had a plan. The challenger, Ash, using a Pikachu, blared the announcer. The gym leader, Lieutenant Surge, using a Raichu. The Pokémon will battle one-on-one. Let the battle begin. Use the strategy we planned, Pikachu, Ash called out. A strategy? So they've been planning a new way to lose, Surge mocked. He turned to his Pokemon. Go, Raichu! Raichu lashed out at Pikachu with the lightning bolt at the end of its tail. The blow sent Pikachu sprawling across the floor. Every time Pikachu tried to get up, Raichu's tail lashed out again. Now, a body slam, Raichu, Surge yelled. Pikachu was dazed, lying face down on the floor. Slam! Raichu threw its body on top of Pikachu. Hang in there, Pikachu, Misty called. Slam! Raichu pummeled Pikachu again. Roll to the side and break away, Brock crawled out. Raichu threw himself at Pikachu again. This time, Pikachu reacted. It quickly rolled out of the way. Slam! Raichu thudded against the floor. Do it, Pikachu! Agility, now! Ash coached. Pikachu sped toward Raichu. Raichu threw its body at Pikachu. Slam! Pikachu ran out of the way. Slam! Raichu missed again. Slam! Raichu pounded against the floor. It's working, Misty shouted. Right, Brock explained. Raichu evolved too fast. It never learned the speed attacks it could only learn at the Pikachu stage. Pikachu was running circles around Raichu. The larger Pokemon spun around, trying to catch it. Ash could see Raichu was growing dizzy. Thud. Raichu fell down in a daze. Ash was thrilled. Your Raichu's way too slow, Surge. That's its weakness. Raichu, give it a thunderbolt. Shut it down, Surge ordered angrily. Raichu rose to its feet. It raised its arms and let out a piercing cry. Raichu! A huge electric charge exploded from Raichu's body. Ash felt the gym floor rumble. The gym rocked in a blaze of white light. Glass windows shattered. Ash was knocked off his feet. The match is over, Surge bragged. Ash opened his eyes. The gym was destroyed, but in the center of the floor was Pikachu. It wasn't hurt. Pikachu's tail was sticking straight up out of the floor. Pikachu had used its tail as a ground and dodged the electric attack, Brock said. Pika! Pikachu looked angry. Raichu, give it another thunderbolt, Surge commanded. Raichu closed its eyes. It focused with all its might and tried to throw out a thunderbolt. Nothing happened. Surge looked panicked. Do something, Raichu! It's over, Brock said. Raichu's all out of electricity. Ash turned to Pikachu. All right, Pikachu, quick attack. Pikachu charged at Raichu and slammed against its body. Weakened, Raichu toppled to the floor. Raichu now! Surge yelled. Pikachu charged into Raichu again. Pikachu's tail began to glow with electrical light. Pikachu swung around and shocked Raichu with a powerful blast of electricity. The charge coursed through Raichu's body. Raichu shook with the charge. Then it lay still. It was knocked out. Now this match is over, Ash said. Surge crossed the gym and held out his hand. Congratulations. He pressed something into Ash's palm. As proof of your victory. Ash opened his hand. A yellow-orange stone glittered against a gold sunburst. I can't believe it. It's a thunder badge. You and your Pikachu fought really well. Surge admitted. Ash, you're no baby. Rye! Raichu was back on its feet. It smiled at Pikachu. Pika! Pikachu replied. Ash hugged Pikachu. Thanks, Pikachu. This was your victory. Pika! Pikachu jolted Ash with a friendly blast of electricity. Misty laughed. Oh, those two really are quite a team. Outside the gym, Team Rocket celebrated. That Pikachu is really special, said James. Jesse nodded. And yeah, that's why it's worth stealing. You're right, James said. We've wasted enough time. Soon Ash will find out just how deliciously evil Team Rocket really is. Meowth grinned. Meowth! You can say that again. Chapter 11. Pikachu Goes Wild. What a great place this is for a rest, Misty said. Brock nodded. Yeah, it's nice to kick back and relax a little. Ash took a deep breath of clean air. The tall trees of the forest towered above their campsite. This is a great place, Ash agreed. We definitely need a vacation after all we've been through. Pika! Pikachu was perched on a tree branch, eating an apple. It made Ash feel good to see Pikachu so happy. Pika? With a start, Pikachu scrambled down the tree trunk and ran out of the campsite. Hey, where you going, Pikachu? Ash called. He took off running after his Pokémon. Misty and Brock were right behind him. Stopped at the edge of a clearing in the forest, Ash crashed to a stop behind him. It's amazing, Misty whispered, looking into the clearing. A herd of Pikachu were gathered a few yards away. Ash had never seen so many in one place. The Pikachu were all eating apples and playing games. Those must be wild Pikachu, Brock guessed. Pika! Pikachu said excitedly. It ran out into the clearing. Pika-pee! The wild Pikachu froze and stared at Pikachu. Pikachu! Pikachu waved hello. Choo! The herd scattered, running into the other side of the clearing. They're not sure if they should accept Pikachu, Ash realized. Pikachu looked sad. Its ears drooped. A tiny Pikachu slowly emerged from the herd. It carefully approached Pikachu. The tiny Pikachu lifted up its head and sniffed Pikachu's nose. Pee! Squeaked the tiny Pikachu. It turned around and offered Pikachu its tail. Pikachu smiled. It tapped its tail against the tiny Pikachu's tail. The wild Pikachu looked at one another. Then they gave a happy cry and ran towards Pikachu. They surrounded Pikachu and began chattering away. It looks like they've accepted Pikachu as part of their group, Brock said. All right, Ash said. This was really exciting. He ran out into the clearing. Hey, I want to be a part of your group too, Ash yelled, waving his arms. Pikachu saw Ash and waved back, but the wild Pikachu screamed and ran out of the clearing. Don't run away, Ash called out. Quit it, Ash, Misty said. Ash spun around. What do you mean? Don't you get it, Ash? Brock asked. Those Pikachu are scared of you. They're not used to humans. Pikachu said sadly. It stared into the empty clearing. Ash sighed. I'm sorry, Pikachu. Ash kicked at the dirt and headed back towards the campsite. I always ruin everything, Ash thought. Sometimes I think Pikachu would be better off without me. On a nearby tree branch, Team Rocket watched the herd of Pikachu through the binoculars. If we turn all these Pikachu over to the boss, Jessie began, we'll be promoted for sure, James finished. Piles of Pikachu everywhere, added their Pokemon. James grinned. To the balloon, he said, we've got work to do. Chapter 12. Trapped by Team Rocket. Looks like we're going to see them again. Pika, Pika, Pikachu. The sound of the wild Pokemon singing floated in the night air. A bright moon hung in the sky. Brock and Misty slept peacefully next to the campfire. Ash couldn't sleep. He poked at the fire with a stick. Pikachu had made friends with the herd of wild Pokemon and was off playing with them in the forest. He seemed so happy with them. Staring into the fire, Ash could almost see Pikachu's face smiling at him. I think it's the best thing in the world for Pikachu to be with its own kind, Brock had told him. Ash knew he was probably right. But now that they were such good friends, the thought of life without Pikachu hurt. A small breeze kicked up, blowing out the campfire. Ash watched sadly as the image of Pikachu died with the flames. Bee! A terrified cry pierced the night air. Ash tensed. It was the wild Pikachu. Misty and Brock snapped awake. Let's go, Ash cried. Brock and Misty followed Ash through the forest and into the clearing. Ash gasped. The wild Pikachu were piled in a heap in the center of the clearing. A thick net surrounded them. Ash spotted Pikachu under the net. Pikachu is trapped too. Pikachu! Ash cried out. Suddenly, the white light filled the clearing. Ash shielded his eyes. What's going on? Ash asked. The sound of evil laughter echoed through the forest. Then Ash heard Team Rocket's battle cry. Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. It can't be, Ash thought. But Jessie, James, and Meowth jumped down from a nearby tree and into the clearing. Stand back while we swipe these Pikachu, Meowth said. Misty faced Team Rocket. You're not swiping anything, she called out. Pikachu, break the ropes with an electric shock. Sparks flew around Pikachu's face. It aimed to charge the net, but nothing happened. Ha ha. They're no match for our Pikachu-insulated net. It's made from material that absorbs electricity, Jessie added. Oh, I've had it with these clowns, Ash thought. Let those Pikachu go now, he demanded. James detached a small round machine from his belt. Why don't you check out our website? He taunted. Twitch.tv/Professor's Lab. He pushed a button and a net flew out of the machine, trapping Ash, Misty, and Brock. You're not going to get away with this, Misty cried. Meowth laughed. Ha! Just watch us. Team Rocket disappeared behind the captured Pikachu. Ash saw a large hot air balloon begin to rise from the clearing. The Pikachu net was tied to the bottom of the balloon basket. Team Rocket was going to lift off and take all the Pikachu with them. Ash struggled with the net. This might be Pika-proof, but it's not people-proof, Ash said. In seconds, the three friends had thrown off their bindings. Ash ran to the hot air balloon. The captured Pikachu were high in the air. He couldn't reach them. Look, Ash, Pikachu has a plan, Misty said. Pikachu had started chewing on the lines in the net. The wild Pikachu did the same. Soon they had chewed enough to make a small hole. Pikachu climbed out of the hole and up the net. It hopped into the balloon basket. Meowth? What's this? Meowth was startled to see Pikachu. Pikachu is distracting Team Rocket, Brock said. Ash picked up one side of the net that had held them. Then let's get to work. Brock and Misty Each grabbed a corner of the net. "Hey, Pikachu, jump into this! Hurry!" Ash called. The wild Pikachu heard him. One at a time, they jumped into the net and bounced safely onto the ground. Back in the basket, Pikachu jumped from Jessie to James to Meowth. Team Rocket couldn't catch it. "Pikachu, come down!" Ash called from the ground. Meowth looked over the edge of the basket at the empty net. We got a Pika problem down below," he warned. Jessie and James looked down. "All our Pikachu are gone," James said. Jessie eyed Pikachu. "But we do have one left," she said. Team Rocket charged at Pikachu. Pikachu quickly jumped out of the way. It hopped onto the hot air balloon and took a bite. Then it leapt to the ground. "I've got you," Ash yelled, and caught Pikachu in his arms. "We're blasting off again," cried Meowth. Ash looked up. Pikachu's bite had made a hole in the balloon. Hot air shot from the hole with a powerful blast. The force sent Team Rocket spiraling off into the night sky. Ash hugged Pikachu. "You did it!" "Pikachu, Pikachu!" Pikachu looked up. The wild Pikachu were calling to it. Pikachu jumped out of Ash's arms, and they joined the wild Pikachu. "Pika, Pika!" They laughed and cheered. "They're so happy," Misty said. "Isn't it great?" "Yeah, great," Ash muttered. But deep down, he didn't feel great at all. Chapter 13. Goodbye, Pikachu. Ash packed up his knapsack. He stepped on the dying embers of the fire until they were all out. "Ash, you really trained Pikachu well," Brock said. "Yeah, you did a great job," Misty admitted. Ash didn't answer. He lifted his knapsack on his shoulders and walked away from the campsite. Misty ran after him. "Ash, where are you going?" "I'm leaving," Ash said firmly. "Pikachu is better off without me." Pikachu? Pikachu hopped into the campsite. It looked at Ash questioningly. Ash couldn't face Pikachu. He stared at the ground. "Pikachu, you stay here. I know you'll be much happier in the forest with the other Pikachu. They need you." "Goodbye, Pikachu," Ash said hoarsely. He ran down the trail without looking behind him. "Ash, you're crazy," Misty called out, but Ash didn't answer her. His feet pounded against the dirt as he ran. If I don't get out of here now, I'll never be able to leave Pikachu behind, Ash thought. It's for the best. Images of Pikachu flashed through Ash's mind. Pikachu shocking him in the Professor Oak's lab. As they met for the very first time, Pikachu leaping in front of him to protect him from the Spearow attack. Pikachu battling the powerful Raichu to defend his honor. "I didn't even ask to choose Pikachu," Ash remembered. "It happened by accident. And since then, Pikachu's done so much for me. I have to do what's right for Pikachu." Ash felt a hand grab his shoulder. He stopped, panting. It was Misty. She and Brock had caught up to him. "Why are you doing this, Ash?" Misty asked. Ash kicked the ground. "Pikachu will be better off staying here than traveling around with me," he said. "But Ash..." Ash ignored them and continued on down the trail. The sky was starting to grow with the light of sunrise. Behind him, Ash heard Misty and Brock call his name. Ash spun around. It was Pikachu. Pikachu had followed him. It stood against the horizon in front of the rising sun. "Pika!" Pikachu called out. The tiny, wild Pikachu scampered up to Pikachu. The other wild Pikachu arrived next. They raised their arms in the air. "Pikachu, Pikachu!" They cheered. Pikachu turned and waved to the wild Pikachu. Then it turned around and ran down the trail. Pikachu took a flying leap right into Ash's arms. "Pikachu!" Ash hugged the Pokémon. "I think Pikachu made its choice," Misty said. Brock nodded. "That's right, Ash. It looks like Pikachu wants to stay with you." Ash looked at Pikachu. I'm sorry, Pikachu. No matter what happens from now on, we'll face it together. Pikachu, Pikachu replied. Ash smiled and looked at his Pikachu, Misty, and Brock as the sun rose over the forest. Ash knew that as long as he had his friends, he was ready for a new day and a new adventure. The end. Apparently, Tracy West has been writing books for more than 10 years. When she's not playing the blue version of the Pokemon game, she started with a Squirtle. She enjoys reading comic books, watching cartoons, and taking long walks in the woods, looking for wild Pokemon. Tracy West was apparently playing Pokemon Go way before Pokemon Go came out. She lives in a small town in New York with her family and pets. And that is the end of Pokemon I Choose You. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, listening to our reading of this. Make sure you follow the Professor's Lab over on twitch.tv and you subscribe to Rex Reads here on YouTube. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.